Hello dear students, welcome to Social Science class. Today let us continue History lesson number 5, Greek, Roman and American civilization. In last class we discussed about Roman civilization. Today let us start the American civilization. Maya, Aztec and Inca are the ancient American civilizations, and the countries of medieval Europe, they discovered new continents in their attempts to find a new sea route to India. So America and Australia discovered were misunderstood as India. America and Australia, they thought that is India, and like that they discovered that one, and their inhabitants were called as Indians. So the aborigines of America and Australia came to be called as Indians. In later history, the familiar countries came to be known as the Old World, and newly discovered continents are known as New World. The ancient Columbian civilization of America are distinct and special like the civilization of Old World, like the Egyptian, Mesopotamian and Chinese civilization. So we can see states, kingdoms, amazing monuments, cities, arts, etc. in the New World also. New World means new found continents. The nomadic people of this area, nomadic means they are roaming here and there for their food and shelter. The nomadic people of this area settled around 1500 BC, and they grew maize, cereals, fruits, pepper and cotton. And the villagers knew how to weave clothes, how to make pots and etc. The beginning of the construction of pyramids and commemorative stones ideals in the period between 1200 BC and 900 BC, and this brought new changes in the hitherto simple lives of these people. These changes first noticed in the coastal Mexico, and the commemorative ideals depicts leaders and kings, and these are called as Olmec. The evidence and the excavation found here reveal centralized society with hierarchical system. Gradually, it came into vast kingdom, capital cities and villages sprang up around these areas. Next one is Maya civilization. Now let us see about the Maya civilization. The American Indian aborigines of Yucatan area of Mexico are called as Mayas, and their language is known as Yucatec. And physically the Mayas were very short, brown, complexed brown color, long haired and generally round headed people. And the Mayas were the most advanced among the ancient American Indians, and the ruins of cities built of stone have been obtained from Yucatan of Mexico, Guatemala and Honduras. And this civilization rose its culture height about 1700 years ago. And their earliest cities were built in 320 CE. And we can see the dissolution of Mayan culture with the attack of the Spain. The decline of the Mayan culture is because of the attack of the Spain from 1527 to 1546 under the leadership of Cortes. A few descendants of Mayan Indians who have survived these attacks can be seen even today in the northern areas of Yucatan and Guatemala. Now let us see the life of the Mayas. How was the lifestyle of the Mayas? And the settlement of the Mayas included huge ceremonial centers, and these have been called as cities, but they were not inhabited by the people. These city areas not at all populated by the people, and these areas were utilized only for the religious ceremonies, market, courts and city administration centers. And people lived in villages around this area. Except during the period of markets and religious celebration, these cities or central ceremonial centers would be empty. Around the large site named Tikal, pyramid palaces and courtyards have been found all around structures 1 square mile. In all ceremonial centers on their either side of the courtyard there used to be pyramids, and beneath them, under them, they were building with many rooms. In front of this, there used to be mammoth stone pillars, of which a few were plain pillars. Also, they used the structures of the gods, priests, important leaders in administration, and hieroglyphic writing would be carved on these pillars. And like these stone figures are known as steles. And largest among these is approximately 35 feet high and weight will be 65 ton. And we can see temples on top of the pyramid, and the people used to assemble in these courtyards and watch rituals and in front of the temple. And gradually, by about the 9th century, people abandoned these ceremonial centers. They stopped that one. For the next 6 centuries, their areas did not enjoy much of an importance. They didn't give more importance for that areas. The ordinary Mayas lived in the huts on the outskirts of the ceremonial centers, and they used as a maize field all around, and the farmers grow maize and yam and among others, and the labor of innumerable peasants means farmers, were utilized here to construct their huge structures. And we can see Mayas used the writing form that hieroglyphics, astronomy as they're used for their calendar, and their hieroglyphic writing is based on ideographic symbols and sound. And there are around 850 characters in this hieroglyphic writing. The meaning for most of these are not known. These hieroglyphic texts have been carved on stone memorials, structures, and on logs of wood, and they were also written in books also. All except three books were destroyed during the Spanish conquest. Spanish attacked there, and all the books were destroyed. One of these are Dresden Codex was used to predict the dates of eclipses. And there is no evidence for the use of the metal in Mayas. Even in early 16th century, copper and gold were rare. They used tools made of stone, bones, and wood. Until 9th century, they were not aware of what of the bow and arrow. The gods is pertaining to maize crops were the presiding deities for the Mayas, and they treated rain, soil, wind, sun, moon, and maize itself as their gods. Throughout their history, the Mayas practiced human sacrifice on limited scale. They used human sacrifices to please the gods. And with this, I am concluding today's class. Next class, we have to discuss about Aztec civilization. Thank you, students.